Hello, today we're going to have a quick look at how the heart rate is controlled in the body. And it all depends on this small group of cells that you can see that I'm just about to label just there in the right atrium, which is on the left side of your screen. That little group of cells there, and that's called the pacemaker of the heart. If you want it to be fancy, you might call it the SA node or the sinoatrial node, but you should definitely be able to remember it as the pacemaker. And it's a group of cells, and what that does is it regulates the heartbeat by sending a regular electrical impulse across the two atria. And that controls the beating of the heart and makes sure that it's regular and keeps going in a regular way. Now we should make a note of the exact location of the pacemaker. So remember, when you look at right and left on a diagram of the heart, you switch them around. So the right on the page is actually the left part of the heart. And the pacemaker is found in the right atrium. As you can see, that little dark spot with the lines coming out of it, those lines are electrical impulses. And if you were to look to see how they worked, you would see a regular set of impulses radiating out from that pacemaker. And that would then spread to the bottom half of the heart, which would then contract straight afterwards. Okay, now sometimes we have issues with the way the pacemaker or those cells work, and they either work in an irregular way and don't beat evenly or don't send impulses evenly, or sometimes they go a bit too slow. So what scientists have done is they've produced these things called artificial pacemakers. And what they do is make sure that that pulse is sent in a regular way, or it doesn't go too slow, so that impulse is spread, continues to be spread evenly, and it doesn't go below a certain amount, which could be dangerous. Okay, so the artificial pacemaker, what it basically does is it connects to the heart via a couple of electrical leads. So it connects directly to the heart, and the machine itself, the pacemaker itself, sends regular electrical impulses to make sure that the heart beats properly. It is found just under the skin, so when they implant it, they actually, it takes a surgery, but they implant it just under the skin, so it's a permanent thing, so it stays there permanently to make sure that the heart is beating regularly. Now it can allow the heart rate to increase and decrease, and sometimes they only kick in when the heart rate is too slow, but either way it makes sure it keeps everything going in a steady way. Okay, so the last thing I want to do in this video is to look at a calculation. Now, this is not an equation or a formula that you need to know or remember, but you might be asked to do something like this given certain information. So here is an equation, and we've got heart rate, which is beats per minute, cardiac output, which is the volume of blood pumped per minute, and something called the stroke volume, which is the volume of blood pumped for every beat. If we put those together, we've got cardiac output equals heart rate times stroke volume. And you might be asked to do something with this equation after they've given it to you and given you some information. Okay, so we've got two people there with information about stroke volume and heart rates, and what we want to do is to calculate the cardiac outputs. So we'll have a go at those two. The first one's quite straightforward. The second one's got just a very slight little trick to it, but we can have a go at that one as well. So for the first one, we've got heart rate times stroke volume, which is 65 times 55. Just a reminder that the stroke volume is a volume, so it's going to be measured in centimeters cubed or sometimes milliliters. So you could use either one of those two, but it would be given in the question most likely. So we multiply those two together, and then we get an answer of 3,570. And we are looking at cardiac output, which is volume of blood pumped per minute. So it would be 3,575 centimeters cubed per minute. Okay, now we'll do the same for the second one. But if you've just looked and thought ahead a little bit, we can do it quite simply, but there's a slight problem in that the heart rate is not given in beats per minute. It's given for 32 seconds. No, for 30 seconds. It's 32 beats in 30 seconds. So to work out beats per minute, you would just simply double it, because 2 30 seconds make a minute. So that'll give us 64 beats per minute. And then we just go ahead and do the calculation. So it's 64 times 65. And in this case, we get an answer of 4160. And remember, the unit is centimeters cubed per minute. What you might notice there is that both those heart rates are almost the same. They're certainly very close, 65 and 64 beats per minute, but the second person is pumping out much more blood per minute than the first one. And the reason for that is because they possibly have a bigger heart and certainly a larger volume probably on the ventricles. And this is often the case with athletes who exercise regularly, or someone who exercises regularly can often have bigger stroke volumes due to a bigger heart. Okay, so that was a quick video on how the heart rate is controlled. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.